Hey everyone, welcome back. Did you know that after age 60, your bones can lose density faster than at almost any other point in adulthood? For many people, especially women after menopause, this is when the risk of osteoporosis and fractures really starts to climb. The good news is that food plays a real, meaningful role in supporting bone strength, no matter your age. In this video, we're covering the key nutrients your bones need most, the best food sources for each one, a few foods that may work against bone health, and a sample day of eating to help tie it all together. Let's get into it. Your bones are actually living tissue, constantly being broken down and rebuilt in a process called remodeling. Up until your late 20s or early 30s, bone building generally outpaces bone loss. After that, the balance gradually shifts, and by the time most people reach their 60s, bone loss tends to outpace bone building. For women, this process speeds up significantly after menopause, due to the drop in estrogen, which plays a protective role in bone density. Men experience bone loss too, just typically starting a bit later and progressing more gradually. This is exactly why nutrition becomes even more important at this stage of life. The right foods can help slow that loss and support the bone building side of the equation. Let's start with the nutrient most people associate with bone health: calcium. Calcium is the primary mineral that makes up bone tissue, and after 60, most guidelines recommend somewhat higher daily intake than in earlier adulthood. Dairy products, milk, yogurt, and cheese remain some of the most concentrated and well-absorbed sources of calcium. Leafy greens like kale, bok choy, and collard greens offer plant-based calcium, along with other bone-supportive nutrients. Fortified foods, including some plant milks, orange juice, and cereals, can be a helpful way to boost calcium intake, especially for those who are lactose intolerant or follow a plant-based diet. Canned fish with bones, like sardines or canned salmon, are excellent calcium sources, since the soft, edible bones are rich in the mineral. Almonds and tofu, when made with calcium sulfate, also contribute meaningfully to daily calcium intake. Calcium doesn't work alone. Your body needs vitamin D to actually absorb it effectively, and vitamin D deficiency becomes more common with age, partly because skin becomes less efficient at producing it from sunlight over time. Fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, and tuna, are among the best natural food sources. Egg yolks provide a modest amount. Fortified foods, including many milks, plant milks, and cereals, are often fortified specifically with vitamin D. Sunlight exposure also plays a major role. Even short, regular periods of sun exposure can help, though this varies by skin tone, location, and season. Many people over 60 benefit from a vitamin D supplement, but that's a conversation to have with your doctor, since the right dose depends on your current levels and health history. Protein is often overlooked in bone health conversations, but it's actually essential. Bone tissue itself is roughly half protein by volume, and adequate protein intake is linked to better bone density and reduced fracture risk in older adults. Good sources include lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy, beans, lentils, and tofu. Spreading protein intake across meals throughout the day, rather than concentrating it all at dinner, appears to support muscle and bone health more effectively. And stronger muscles also mean better balance, which helps prevent the falls that lead to fractures in the first place. Two more nutrients deserve real attention here. Magnesium helps convert vitamin D into its active form and contributes directly to bone structure. Good sources include nuts, seeds, whole grains, leafy greens, and legumes. Vitamin K, particularly vitamin K2, plays a role in directing calcium to your bones rather than your arteries. Leafy greens are rich in vitamin K1, while fermented foods like natto, and some cheeses, provide K2. If you take blood thinners, it's important to talk to your doctor before significantly changing your vitamin K intake, since it can interact with certain medications. Just as some foods support bone health, others may work against it when consumed in excess. Excess sodium can increase calcium loss through urine over time. Processed and packaged foods are often the biggest source of hidden sodium. Excess caffeine may modestly interfere with calcium absorption, particularly at high intake levels, though moderate consumption is generally not a major concern for most people. Heavy alcohol use is linked to lower bone density and higher fracture risk. Very high sugar-sweetened soda intake, particularly colas, has been associated with lower bone density in some studies, possibly related to the phosphoric acid content and displacing more nutrient-dense beverages. None of this means these need to be eliminated entirely. Moderation is generally the more realistic and sustainable goal. Let's make this practical. Breakfast: Greek yogurt with a handful of almonds and berries, plus a glass of fortified orange juice. Lunch: a spinach salad with canned salmon, chickpeas, and an olive oil dressing. Snack: a slice of cheese with whole grain crackers. Dinner: baked chicken or tofu, roasted broccoli, and a side of quinoa. Evening: a small glass of milk or a calcium-fortified plant milk, if you enjoy something before bed. This is just one example. The overall goal is a pattern rich in calcium, vitamin D, protein, and other bone-supportive nutrients, most days of the week. So that's the full picture on eating for bone strength after 60. The key nutrients to prioritize, the best food sources for each, a few things to enjoy in moderation, and a practical example to help you get started. Diet is just one part of bone health. Weight-bearing exercise, avoiding smoking, and appropriate medical screening like bone density testing all matter too. But what you eat is something you have control over every single day. And small, consistent choices can add up to meaningful support for your bones over time. If you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, or another bone health condition, it's worth talking to your doctor or a registered dietitian about a plan tailored specifically to you. Thanks so much for watching. If this was helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more senior health and wellness content, and I'll see you in the next video.